Guys, I've been trying to like avoid this topic like the literal plague. But you guys keep sending this to me. You guys, listen, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this here. We're going to probably do this one video on it because you guys sent me about like 200 plus of these videos. Guys, listen here. This is about, I say about 40 minutes from my house, right? About that, right? About 40 minutes. And if you guys know the state of Georgia, right? 40 minutes is basically going to the grocery store. Okay. That's nothing. That's a nothing distance. Okay. Now my daughter's school specifically has also now received some type of threats, from this whole scenario. A couple of other schools, Tucker, Georgia, also Snellville, Georgia, like a lot of these random schools now are being, bombarded, right? And then all the police are basically saying, hey, listen, we're getting a lot of these, some of these are fake, but bro, all of them are happening. As in all of these threats are actually, they exist, right? I think I've called the police twice today now, right? Because not literally my daughter's school for the second time now, right? Is being threatened by someone else now. So like, what's going on, right? Keep this in mind, guys. I absolutely back the Second Amendment. I am a owner of many guns, and I mean like a stupid amount of guns. Okay, almost collector worthy of guns. All right, I go shooting all the time. My firearms have never gotten up and done anything absolutely crazy. There's one right there, and it's doing nothing. Right, but I guess the point I'm trying to make here is, absolutely psychotic individuals should not be anywhere near firearms, right? Like, listen, I understand we're Americans. We can have guns and things like that, depending on where you are. Obviously, some places have constitutional carry. But my big takeaway, I guess, is I've never been for anything that kind of puts something in the way of someone getting a firearm, right? Not really. But I think now, because it's happening so constant, like there needs to be something, right? There just has to be something that can stop people, right? What is it? Metal detectors? Is it arming the teachers? I prefer not to arm teachers personally, I guess. I prefer not to, right? Metal detectors. I mean, we've seen what metal detectors do to the psyche of individuals that go to school with metal detectors, right? But I think we're getting past that now. We're past it, specifically with this generation of kids who have never really played outside in any meaningful manner. They never have to worry about the streetlights coming on and getting home. These are kids who have spent their entire life on the internet. Right? These are kids who think that it's funny to talk about ending themselves. Right? This is like the oddest, this is the oddest generation I've ever encountered in my entire life, guys. Oddest. My daughter is one of them. My son is one of them. My eldest son, right? But bro, I don't know. Like, what do you do? Do you take your kid? Do you make sure your kid doesn't go to school tomorrow, bro? What do you think? Is that what you do? Do you make sure your kid doesn't go to school for next week? Just in case something like this actually happens at your kid's middle school, bro. Middle school, not high school. Okay, just keep that in mind. That's absolutely frightening, right? I want my daughter not to ever have to deal with anything like this, guys. And this is kind of the reason why I wanted to stay away from this specific one, because this is like literally affecting my family right now, right? Not this specific one, but the fact that now this happened and now there are multiple threats going to all these schools in the Atlanta area is absolutely crazy. But again, my big thing is, what do we do? How do we solve issues like this? This is just me just sitting here brainstorming with you guys, right? I have no answers, right? I definitely want, personally, for this not to happen. Do we need more armed policemen in school, guys? But again, think of what that means to the kids that are actually being schooled there. Like, do we just give up and everyone just does homeschooling, guys? Because there's something wrong, okay? There's something wrong. But all right, guys, let's go and jump into this video immediately. Breaking news. Father of Georgia school deleter, let's say, has been arrested. Let's do it. Let's jump into it, guys.
We do have the director there of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, also the Barrow County Sheriff. Let's listen.
We wanted to come back and update you on the progress of the case this evening. I appreciate you being here. In coordination with the District Attorney Brad Smith, the GBI has arrested Colin Gray, age 54, in connection to the shooting here at Appalachia High School. Colin is Colt Gray's father that was arrested yesterday. He is charged with
Wait, bro, did you name your son Colt? Oh, good.
Following 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder.
The father's being
and
charged.
8 counts of cruelty to children. Mr. Gray, these charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon. This is a very difficult time, as we know, for students and parents, and so many, I know, of students and parents here in this county and around this state are afraid.
Oh my God.
You all have likely seen reports of incidents of other students making threats today at various schools around our state. In each of these incidents, police, law enforcement took charges, they made arrests, acted very swiftly, as we take incidents like this very seriously across this state. This is a time for all of us as a community and a state to come together and remain vigilant. Students must be supported and encouraged here in this community and across this state to contact a member of their school faculty with any and all concerns of suspicious activity that they may see. Local, state, and federal law enforcement will continue to work together around the clock in relation to this incident here and any other incidents that come up around this state that raise concern to the safety of our students, faculty, and citizens here in the state of Georgia. Additionally, Colt Gray, that was arrested yesterday for this incident, has now been charged with 4 counts of felony murder. And again, we will continue to work tirelessly to complete this investigation as we move forward. I will go ahead and mention to you, and as I say sometimes, I'm going to go ahead and apologize to you. As y'all all know, that this is a murder investigation. It is a very serious investigation, one that we take serious, one that we will continue to diligently work on and be very thorough with it with the GBI and our local partners here. So you'll have to forgive us if we don't answer a lot of the questions that you ask. I know you have many, and we wish we could answer many of them for you, but we still obviously want to maintain the integrity of this investigation because it has a long way to go for it to be finished.
Right.
Again, I also want to remind everyone that we need to continue to pray and support the victims that were involved here, the school teachers, the faculty, the students, obviously those that lost their lives, their families, and those that were injured. So I'd like to call on the sheriff to come and give you a brief update on the status of those that were injured from yesterday's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Hosey. As Director Hosey said, I'd like to say that obviously we're lifting up those families. Our hearts are hurting for them, our kids, our students, our teachers. But the 9 injured, I am very happy to say will make a full recovery. And that's a testament to the response that we had, in my opinion, the response that medical staff responded with, in my opinion, and we're very happy to say that they will make a full recovery after that response. Again, please lift up our community. Please keep these children, these teachers. We call them teachers, but I call them heroes. We met with them today. Emotions are very high, obviously, but we told them that we love them. We love our teachers and what they do, and we're very happy at the fact that they stood in the gap between evil to protect their children, and we want to include them in the lives that were saved as well yesterday. But I wanted to report to you that all 9 people that are injured will expect to make a full recovery. Thank you.
Are they still in the hospital?
Several of them are still in the hospital. Some have been released.
And Director, can you please explain, did the father actually give the gun to the suspect?
Well, I'm gonna leave it as how I mentioned it in the release, that he knowingly allowed him to possess the weapon.
Director, can you tell us about how the arrest happened today? Did he turn himself in?
I'm going to point something
Did you
out
guys make contact
about that
with them? How did that go with investigators
later.
this afternoon with that arrest?
I'm honestly not familiar with the details. All I can tell you is that he is in custody at this time.
And is it likely anyone else will be arrested in this case?
It's difficult to say at this point in time. We're obviously still investigating this, following all leads, all evidence, and we'll set to see where it takes us as we progress forward.
Director, do you believe that the arrest should have been made sooner?
The arrest was made when we had the probable cause to make the arrest.
Do we know when his first court appearance will be?
I'm not sure. No,
Did the
ma'am.
dad bring him to school?
I'm not sure about that either. I'm sorry.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Charges and how he has more charges than suspected.
Not in great detail. The biggest thing, as I mentioned earlier, is that he is in custody at this point in time. His charges are directly connected with the actions of his son and allowing him to possess a weapon.
Sheriff, will he be housed in your facility? Is that where he'll be held? How does that move forward?
He'll be held in the Bexar County Detention Center.
Will his mugshot be available tonight, or will it take some time until tomorrow to get it?
It depends on how long it takes us to book him, but if it's available, we can get that to y'all tonight.
Sheriff,
If not tomorrow.
You said some good news that some have been released. Do you know the numbers of patients that have been released, victims?
I don't want to speak to that because I don't know the exact number, but I know that I want to just report that all 9 would make a full recovery and be able to leave the hospital.
Sheriff, there were 9 people that were injured. Do we know if they are mixed with students and teachers or staff, or are they just students?
I believe 2 were adult teachers, and the rest, which would be 7, would be students.
Director, can you explain whether there's precedent for charges like this?
I'm sorry.
Can you explain whether there's precedent in the state of Georgia as far as the GBI is concerned for the father or parent to be charged with the crime?
I don't have any details
I don't
on any
think so.
history of it, but I would venture to say it's not something new.
Can you tell us about the evidence that led to these charges?
No, ma'am. That's part of the ongoing investigation. I apologize.
Sheriff, after all this time with him being able to talk with investigators, you were pretty strong yesterday. We were saying this was an evil act. It's very sad, obviously, but looking back at what the 14-year-old's been able to say to investigators over the last 24 hours, can you reflect on just what this community is facing after what he allegedly did at this school?
What we're
Allegedly.
facing, heartbreak.
What do you
We're
mean
heartbroken.
allegedly?
A young person brought a gun into a school, committed an evil act,
In Georgia.
and he took lives, and he injured many other people, not only physically but mentally.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm proud of Bexar County. I'm proud of our superintendent. I'm proud of these teachers. I'm proud of these schools. And I'm proud of where I live. And we'll get past this. If you see behind me, up here on the hill, we got a vigil going on at our flagpole. I welcome you to go see those kids and those young people that are hurting.
Director, can you please explain whether you're still expecting more charges?
I think I answered that earlier. Our investigation is still ongoing, so we'll see where things go with our investigation, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much. That's all we have for tonight. Continue to follow GBI on X. Please monitor our website. We did not anticipate another update, but as you can see, it's fluid. Things are developing. Again, we appreciate your patience and your support and your continued prayers for the victims. Thank you.
All right, guys. So I definitely would like to know if the motive has been released. Again, I am not following this story. I refuse. This is like the most information I've even like gotten here, really. Now keep this in mind, guys. This is the state of Georgia. What's interesting is that it's not extremely uncommon for parents to, let's say, buy guns for their kids in the spirit of them owning it, basically, right? So I go to the gun store, I buy a gun, I give the gun technically to my kid, but it's obviously mine. That kid is in the household. That kid is underage. That's the gun they use when we go shooting. Basically, that's how that most likely happened. But the problem here is what it seems is like he pulled an absolute idiotic move in most likely allowing the kid to actually own the gun. right? Again, so like I have like my eldest son has had a gun for 4 or 5 years, guys, right? In the spirit of ownership, let's say, right? We go to the range, that's what he uses. That's his gun at the range. Then it goes straight into a gigantic lockbox. Okay, you don't touch it. That's not. What are you talking about? That's not what we do around here. It seems like, most likely, he let that kid have that gun in his room. Like he didn't understand the spirit of gun ownership. Right? He didn't understand that, it seems. So yeah, is the father complicit? By definition, yeah. Right? Absolutely. By that exact definition. Bro, don't pass go. Go straight to jail, my boy. Right? That was idiotic of you. Right? And keep this in mind, guys. I'm sure if the further you get into, like, how about this? The further you get outside of Atlanta, the more likely you're going to see this actually happening. Right? In Georgia, in Alabama, in South Carolina, oh yeah, Florida, yeah. This is South. Definitely. Right? And that's an unfortunate thing, right? I mean, you definitely want to make sure if you're going to do that in the spirit of, make sure you 100% do not allow your kid to have that gun. Right? Like, pay attention to your kids, period. Like, if you see the kid is acting absolutely strange, doesn't like life any longer, why would you allow the kid to maintain that gun? Right? But all right, listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole thing. Again, my biggest fear is my daughter's school has just been threatened in the list of schools, because like directly threatened. And I mean like named, not in like a list of schools. No. Threatened. Right? So that's weighing extremely heavily on me currently. Right? But all right, guys, listen. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Definitely stay safe out there, and do not allow your kids to actually own firearms. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.